So good afternoon all. Myself Viral Mehta here. I look after global investing from IIFL point of view. Along with me, I have Ritu Bansal. She is Vice President at Stockel. And we also have Menka Reddy. She is a research head at Stockel. And they both will help us to understand the basics of global investing, how it can be helpful, what all things we can purchase through global investing, and how this new asset class has come up so far and how it is performing, overall performance of global investing, and how what are the ease in terms of opening an account and benefits out of it. So friends, please have patience. We'll start the webinar in maximum a minute or two. Thank you.
This wall behind will get Stockholm's. Yeah. Yeah. Even that picture. How to choose the background. In that way, the funny thing is when you move your head and your head goes away. It's really bad. Yeah. You can see the slides.
Ritu, we can start. We have already 4-3 and people will join. We can continue from here on. So over to you,
Sure.
Ritu. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for taking time out on a Wednesday afternoon to hear us talk about global investments. So what do you mean by global investments? Global investments, as it sounds, it's basically investing your money, hard-earned savings into markets outside of India. So today when we will be talking, we'll be specifically talking about investing in US markets. Interestingly, US markets, as you all would know, is the largest market in the world. It has about 45% of the market capitalization is alone in US. In terms of industries, in terms of stocks which are listed, US market is the largest market in the world. And that's why it makes a lot of sense today to have global investing as a part of your asset allocation, because not only that there are industries which are, which are exclusively there in US, which are not present in India, which we will be talking about, but it also gives you the diversification of the currency on your portfolio, which we'll be walking you through. I'm a part of Stockel. Stockel is the technology platform for IIFL, where we provide you the platform to invest in US markets. We started in 2019, where we bought a simplified way of investing in global markets. I remember before that, if you wanted to invest in any markets outside of India, it was very, very tough. Either you had to find a banker there, a broker there yourself, and most of the times the help was very, very limited. So Stockel pioneered the simplified way of investing in global markets, with IIFL. In 2020, when we started, we onboarded almost 33,000 plus users. That many users became interested in adding global investing onto their portfolios. In 2021, we crossed about 10,000 transactions which happened in global markets. And in 2022, we crossed more than $150 million of money which got invested in the global markets. So I was talking to you about US markets and investing in global investing. So what do we understand about global investing? And believe me or not, when we talk to various people, what we hear about understanding of global markets is investing in Google, in Amazon, in Apple, in Microsoft, in Tesla. These are the 5, 6 very common names. But US market has more than 5,500 stocks which are listed there. There are almost 1,200 ETFs which are listed there. It's a huge, vast market out there. So it is far more deeper than that. And I also started off with saying that global investing makes a lot of sense in your portfolio because there are industries and companies which are not present in India, which can be a part of your portfolio and can give you true diversification in your portfolio. So what are those sectors which are not present in India? We have hydrogen fuel cell manufacturers. What is that? Basically, now we're talking about climate change becoming the most important part, because we've seen the impact of that on our on the earth. We've seen the impact of that on our day-to-day lives, and this is also starting to go and impact the companies in terms of their performances. So given the kind of focus which is there, there is a lot of chance that it will become commercially viable in a very, very short period of time. Then we have lithium producers. What is lithium? Our phones. Our phones have mobile batteries which are made out of lithium. The cars have run on lithium ion batteries. So lithium is the future. But if you want to invest in India in lithium, there's hardly any option available. And if because of the inflation, the prices of metal is also going to remain high. So there is quite a potential upside on the on lithium that you can look at. Then we have semiconductors. I'm sure you all would have read there's a shortage of semiconductors which are happening. It was big time in news. It is a huge industry. It is currently about $556 billion into 2021, and it's expected to become $1 trillion industry by 2030. These chips go into everything these days that we do. Our phones, our cars, chips are everywhere. So if you want to invest in semiconductor industries, again, India has very limited options. The best way to invest is via the US markets. Then we have crypto. Now, when we talk about crypto, everybody says, hey, but 70% correction in Bitcoin. But crypto is not just Bitcoin. Crypto is far more than that. Crypto is actually blockchain technologies which are used in building up crypto. So there are multiple kind of crypto assets which are there, but blockchain technologies not only go in crypto, they're also getting used in various other spheres of technology, and it is the future. The last one is actually a little controversial. This cannabis or hemp. In India, it is not legal, but you must be reading in newspapers that in US it has become legalized, and it is primarily for medicinal use. Do you know cannabis actually has been found to be effective in cancer treatments, and it really helps cancer heal very fast. So there are a lot of research going on that, and cannabis is used on medicinal purposes. Specifically, do you know cannabis is also very good for people who have seizures? It is a 21 billion industry in 2020, when it grew by 9 billion in 2021 alone. It's expected to be 35 billion this year. How do you participate? There's no way you can participate in India. So when I'm saying these are sectors which are unexplored in India, have they performed? So here is one example. We have a company called Plug Power, which is a hydrogen fuel stock. That company, despite correction that we are seeing in the market, has given a CAGR or annualized compounded annual growth of 56% year on year. At the same time, S&P 500 given 8.5%, and you can compare it with any markets. It has outstripped the returns across all markets. This is just a few examples. We will talk more in terms of what you should look at, investing. What are the, from market perspective, which we'll talk towards the end of the presentation. So in India, when we invest, stocks are the main way of investing. We have mutual funds, and we also have ETFs. What is ETF? ETF is like a mutual fund, but it is listed on the exchange. In a mutual fund, you have one NAV, but in ETF, it is traded like a stock. So you can buy and sell ETF on the exchange like a stock. In India, typically you will find index ETFs, you'll find gold ETFs. But in US, there are more than 1,200 ETFs, and it's not just limited to index ETFs. It is far, far more. Every sector that you can talk about has an ETF. And there are country ETFs, there are bond ETFs, there are liquid ETFs. You can talk about anything and everything, and there will be an ETF. Then it's a huge market. Actually, in US, that's a primary way of investing. It's almost $7 trillion. The ETF market is about $7 trillion. It is way, way vast. People there directly don't invest in stocks. Most of the time, they buy in ETFs because A, it is low expense ratio. You get diversification without thinking as to which stock to buy. You also get the return of the underlying. And more importantly, it's very easy to trade in these investments. Some of the few top performing ETFs of last year, most of them has been energy and oil. If you see, the big oil has given a return of about 118% in just last 1 year. And we were to compare it to the market would have barely given an 8% return. So most of the ETFs that you would see here are the gas ETFs, but then there is one surprising ETF also out here, which is the emerging markets bear ETF. So there are these kind of ETFs also where you can invest when you're expecting the markets to be bear. So amazing amount of diversification that you can get by investing in US, which you don't get anywhere in the world. Apart from stocks and ETFs, our platform also have these curated portfolios, which help you investing in thematic portfolios, right? Today, if you want to say, okay, I think electric vehicle is a very good way of investing in future. So let me go ahead and buy Tesla. But do you know, a Tesla car is not just a Tesla car. There is technology which goes into it. There is battery which goes into it. There are seats which are going to it. There's so much more. Now, how do you know which stock to pick up? And is Tesla the only company which is doing electric vehicles? Well, they're known the most, but there are so many other companies. GM has gone into electric vehicles. So how do you know which stock to pick up and make a portfolio? Here, these are run either by algos, or there are fund managers who do a lot of research and pick up the right stocks and ETFs in the portfolio. All you need to do is, if you like a particular theme, go ahead and at the click of a button, pick up a stack. We do not have any minimum holding period in these portfolios. The minimum is as little as $1,000. So it is in a way a PMS, the way PMS runs in India. But in India, if you have to invest in PMS, you invest minimum 50 lakhs. Here you can invest as little as 80,000 rupees in the current conversion rate if I have us to take. You do not have to worry about what the underlying will be. The fund manager does the research and does rebalancing on a quarterly basis of these portfolios. And if you also want a particular portfolio which invests in global markets, we also have global ETFs. So it is a vast world out there for you to explore and play around to ensure that there is good diversification in your portfolio. So is this the only benefit of investing in US markets? No, the biggest investing in US markets are the rupee depreciation. I'll come back to other stuff right now. 10 years back, the rupee was at 53.40. And we've seen US dollar where it is. It's about 82.19%. That's on an average, the rupee has depreciated by almost 4.5% on a year-on-year basis. How does it impact your portfolio? Does it really add value? So here's an example. If you had invested in an Apple stock the same period, 10 years back, and you had invested $100, which is about 5,500 rupees at that point in time. In the last 10 years, the Apple stock has grown by 650%. So your $100 became $750. If you were to convert that in the value in which you had invested at 55, that becomes 37,000 rupees. Let's assume you were to take this money back to India now. So how does it fare? So USD appreciated by 45.5%, which I said 4.5% year on year. So your $750 plus your rupee depreciation is equal to 60,000 rupees. So you've added 23,000 rupees through rupee depreciation. And more importantly, that 23,000 rupees is not taxed. So that is the beauty of investing in global markets, that you are getting the rupee depreciation adding to your returns without doing any hard work. What is the other benefit? The other benefit is, which I was talking about, sorry, I will go back, is the fractional shares. What does fractional shares mean? Fractional share as a concept does not exist in India. Fractional shares का मतलब है कि आज मुझे एक शेयर नहीं खरीदना है. I want to buy lesser. मेरे पास 10 रुपए है, मुझे सिर्फ 10 रुपए का एक स्टॉक खरीदना है. इंडिया में कर सकते हैं, नहीं कर सकते, बट अब यूएस में कर सकते हैं. एक एग्जाम्पल है उसका, बर्कशायर हैथवे, वॉरेन बुफे की कंपनी है. उसका एक शेयर का प्राइस, वन शेयर प्राइस इज अबाउट 4 million, 4 lakh dollars, 4,1,200 dollars. Even I am missing out. See, one share price. That's the most expensive share, by the way, in the US market. Okay, that's equivalent to almost 3.2 crores if you have to invest in one share. Can we invest? We want to invest in Mr. Warren Buffett's company. How can we do that? Don't worry. If you have $10 to invest, go ahead and buy $10 worth of Berkshire Hathaway. It is as simple. So on the platform, you will be able to invest in amount or in percentage, whatever is convenient for you. So these are some of the benefits which you don't get investing in Indian markets. So I've talked about what are the benefits of investing in US markets, but how easy is it? We started by saying that Stockle was the pioneer in bringing the ease of investing in global markets, but how easy is it? It takes 5 minutes for you to open your account and 15 minutes for us to approve your account. So how do you open? You need to go on to IIFL site, go on to the Go Global account. All that you have to do is set up your username. Just type in a username that you want, choose a password, verify your 6-digit, which will go on to your email. You then need to enter your country of residence, your phone number, upload either a PAN or an Aadhaar. Either of the two will do. Then you need to just authenticate with a selfie. There are a few questions which is about your personal details, like your name, your address, everything. You just sign to complete that, select a pricing plan, and finished. It's done. It's as simple as that. It's a 5-minute journey to complete your entire account opening process, and it is digital. It is as simple as that. Within 15 minutes, you will receive an email saying that your account has been approved. In case if there has been an issue with any of your KYC, you will get an email and a call from us saying that there has been a problem in your KYC, and we can help you upload it again. It's as simple as that. So what are the other benefits of investing via IIFL securities? So yeah, we talked about asset classes. As I said, through ETFs, you can invest in commodity ETFs. You can invest in bond ETFs. You can invest in equity ETFs. Name the ETF, it is there. So you can actually plan your asset allocation basis ETFs alone. It's an AI-enabled platform. Basically tells you which are the stocks which are doing well. There is a lot of research which is available to you to help you choose which stock that you need to invest in. And more importantly, we have a 24/7 support system available to you. There is about a 12-hour calling support throughout the day. And then you also have a chatbot which will help you. And if there is an emergency, our people will definitely call you back to help you through it. There's one point which is not covered here, but I'll definitely two more points which I would like to cover. One is it is very important to know what are the US hours. So the US markets start at 9 a.m. US timing, which is at about 7:30 India time. And it goes on till 1:30 a.m. India time. What happens if you want to invest not in those hours, but outside? So we have extended trading hours. So you get additional 9 hours to trade, in which you can place limit orders, or you can place market if touched orders, which will become market orders, or rather will get converted when the markets open up, given the price that you have put in there. The other important thing is that we provide on a platform which you won't get anywhere is nomination. Do you know, in global markets, India, we all know nomination, but in global markets, succession planning is primarily done through wills. तो आपको विल लिखनी पड़ेगी, तभी आपकी सक्सेशन होती है। बट इंडिया में तो हम सारे समय नॉमिनेशन के साथ करते हैं। तो हमने अपने प्लेटफॉर्म पे वी गिवन यू द नॉमिनेशन फैसिलिटी। आप 4 नॉमिनीज डाल सकते हैं, इट कैन बी एनीबॉडी ऑफ योर फैमिली। इन 4 के अलावा आप कंटिंजेंट नॉमिनी भी डाल सकते हैं। व्हाट इज अ कंटिंजेंट नॉमिनी? A contingent nominee is basically अगर आपने 4 नॉमिनीज डाले हैं, अगर वो 4 नॉमिनीज जो अकाउंट होल्डर है उनसे पहले चले जाते हैं, तो जो नेक्स्ट 4 नाम डाल परसेंटेज में मिलेगा। तो हमने उस लेवल तक आपको नॉमिनेशन में कंफर्ट दिया है, जो कि आपको इंडिया में भी नहीं मिलता है। हमने एक्सटेंडेड आवर्स की बात की थी, तो आपको एज पर इंडिया टाइमिंग time between 1:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. and 1:30 a.m. to 5:30 a.m. to place orders outside the market hours. There are IFL के 3 plans है, and they are the best plans in the market. You won't get a better plan than that. And we're giving you first 5 trades free. So we have 2 plans where there are subscription plans, which also allow you to get more research in your portfolios, and also give you a lower brokerage plan. So there are 3 plans. Please go ahead and choose what it seems. This is the best plan in the market. There's no other nobody else giving you this kind of plans. We talked about investments in markets. हमने ये भी बात कर ली कि what is the benefit of investing in global investments through IFL, what are the advantages of investing in IFL. But सबसे बहुत important question जो हमसे हर कोई पूछता है is what is the taxation, because everybody is very worried the money goes out of India, then what is the taxation? Taxation is actually very simple. The government has kept it very, very simple. It's not rocket science. If you're investing in a share, then your long-term capital gains is 24 months and above. It is 20% with indexation. If you're investing in an ETF or a fund, then it is 36 months, like your debt funds, 20% with indexation. There's no TDS deducted on capital gains in the US. So whenever you are redeeming, entire money comes back to you. You have to pay taxes at the time of filing. In India also, on dividends, we pay taxes on a marginal tax rate. What does marginal tax rate means? It means the rate at which you and I are paying normal taxes. Similarly, in US also, it falls under the same tax rate. So if you're on a 30% tax bracket, the dividend will be taxed at 30%. But unlike capital gains, dividend, there is a TDS. It's called withholding tax in US. So US will deduct 25% of taxes and pay the rest into your account. So is there double taxation? No. India and US ke beech mein, there's a double tax treaty, which means ki you don't have to pay taxes in both the countries. Now let's assume you're in a 30% tax bracket. There's a 25% tax which has been deducted. So in India, at the time of filing your taxes, you pay only the taxes on the extra 5%, not the full 30%. What if you're in a lower tax bracket? Then there's no refund which comes, but you don't have to pay anything extra. So this is what was about global investing and all nuances of global investing, how simple it is, whether tax, very simple, whether picking up your stocks in ETFs, very simple, your depreciation, rupee depreciation adds to your returns. This year alone, when we started January, at 74, today it is at 83. It has corrected in the last few days. But that's a 12.16% depreciation. अगर आपने पैसे US markets में भेज दिए थे और आपने कुछ भी नहीं किया, you would have made 12% returns without doing anything. And if you were to bring that money back to India, you would not have paid taxes on it. It is as beneficial as that. So this was till now about the how and whys of global markets. I now want to hand over the presentation to Megha, who's my colleague. She will talk about the US markets and where to invest, what are the problems, and what is it, where is the silver lining in the entire dark cloud, which is we are seeing, and reading everywhere. Over to you, Menika.
Thanks, Ritu. Wonderful presentation, I guess, from Ritu. So now let's look at the macro environment in the US economy. We all are aware that we are talking about a recession peaking in the US, and we have seen Russia-Ukraine crisis happening, the European crisis, which has heavily impacted global markets. And we are in an environment where we are in a rising interest rate kind of an environment, not just in the US or but it's also in the Indian markets. So these have definitely played a big role in the way markets have moved this year. We are seeing inflation peaking and Fed trying to balance the act of growth and inflation. So they are we had say 4 consecutive 75 basis points which came in the last 4 FOMC meets, and then market has been pricing in all these kind of Fed moves and the central bankers moves. It's not just in the US, but yes, we also saw the ECB coming out and hiking rates. We saw RBI hiking rates. I think the easy money policy is kind of coming to an end. That is what is hitting investors, or the asset class bubbles which were built during the pandemic. Like if we saw the US as an economy which through their monetary policy has put in trillions of dollars as COVID relief funds into the system. So there had to be a way to suck up this liquidity, and we have started balance sheet shrinkages from the Fed side, which has started from September. So all this is actually playing out on equities. So that is why you see US markets in the correction mode, and a lot of people asking NASDAQ is down 20%, but India is fairly doing well. Yes, there are reasons, multiple macroeconomic and monetary and fiscal measures from the government and the policymakers coming into play. That is why we see corrections. But yes, these have proved good opportunities for investors to look at US currently in the bear market conditions, which we have seen in 2022 year to date. But considering all the negative or the challenges which the US economy is seeing in the past few months, or say 3 quarters, we still have some strong fundamentals backing the economy and the asset class equities. So we saw people talking about US heading into recession, 2 negative quarters of negative growth on GDP, and now we see that the Q3 GDP is positive, and then technically US is not in a recession, right? Because I attended the conference on weekend where there was a global market strategist talking about GDP is not the only deciding factors for calling an economy that it is in a technical recession. Technically, yes, as per IMF's quantification of what is recession, yes, you look at 2 negative GDP, or and we call it as a recession. But then that is a lagging indicator, which has already happened. When you look at the unemployment data, or when you look at the consumer sentiment, when you look at manufacturing, or when you look at the labor market, all these are not signaling that US is in a recession. And obviously, we also have the strengthening dollar. And if you see the unemployment right now in the US, we are at say decade lows. We are at 3.6%. This has never happened. During an inflationary environment, we would see in costs are going up, and we also do not see this kind of an unemployment number. Say there's 1.7 jobs available for every 1 unemployment person in the US. So that means US is not in a recession on multiple other things. You look at manufacturing, you look at consumer spending, you look at the credit card data. This is not signaling a recession in any way. So that's why the fundamentals still remain intact for the US economy. You still see say ET and Mint and other Indian newspapers talking about FPIs going back to the US. I mean, you look at 12-month price to earnings on US and then compare it with India or other emerging economies. US is still available at attractive valuations, trading at 15 times compared to India, which is at 21 times. So all these are the reasons why you see FPIs pulling out money from India or other emerging economies and then going back to the US markets. the night is the darkest just before the dawn. So every bull market has been built. When you look at history, every bull market has been built after the bear market. So when you look at, say, 1987, there was a drawdown of, say, 34%, post which we saw a rally, a bull market on the S&P of 582%. So this is quite significant. So what I'm trying to convey on this slide is these are opportunities for investors, first-time investors who are new to markets, to enter the markets. US has given vast opportunities with significant corrections in 2022. And that's the way long-term investors can build their portfolios, diversify beyond geographies, and look at US markets, considering the way it has corrected and how attractive it looks, not just on valuations, but also the sectors which they offer, which is not available in India. And I think Ritu has already touched upon this in depth in the previous slides. So, yeah, so energy, yeah, we all know crude oil, you know, for wrong reasons going up to, say, 120, 125 kind of dollar per barrel kind of trade on the WTI crude. The whole reason for energy going up was the geopolitical crisis which was going on in Europe and which is still persisting. And you have a lot of sanctions from the West imposed on Europe. And then obviously we saw energy and natural price and other commodity prices rallying because of this crisis. So that is why energy as a sector has outperformed the other broader market indices, like 65% returns when the S&P is down about 20% and NASDAQ is down, like, say, 25 to 30%. So we as investors need to look at these kind of pockets where we look at opportunities. And say Ritu has spoken about hydrogen fuel cell manufacturers and lithium producers. So defensives is something which most global strategists are actually positive on. I was just reading, like, say, Motilal Oswal NASDAQ 100 ETF or a fund of fund has corrected significantly. And a lot of Indian investors who have invested in US markets have lost trillions of dollars. This was the news which was buzzing in the Indian newspapers recently. But nobody knows that these funds are heavily exposed to FANG stocks or technology, which is Facebook, Apple, Meta, or Google, or Alphabet, right? People do not think or do not have the knowledge beyond FANG or beyond technology or beyond the index stocks. So that was the reason why Indian investors were losing money by investing in US markets. So that's how Stockle comes into play. We have exclusive ETFs, we have curated basket of stacks where we just do not focus only on FANG or technology as a sector. We have multiple sectors, we have multiple themes, and we have multiple stocks which are trending, and where investors have in fact made more returns over their investments in the Indian markets. And we are personally very positive on defensives as a sector, only for the fact that US is currently in a rising interest rate environment, and defensives have definitely played a major role in actually holding on to the losses on the entire S&P as a index. Because when you look at technology, that is corrected significantly. When you look at materials, or when you look at industrials, or when you look at healthcare, when you look at energy, or you look at banking, banking has been one of the biggest outperformers in October. We see like Dow Jones gaining 14%, and then most of the rally has come in from the banking sector. People asked us that, why is banking positive? Goldman Sachs, be it Credit Suisse, or be it Bank of America, everybody has taken a hit on trading business, on M&As, on their investment banking revenues. But then the net interest margins have been significantly high for these banks during the last 2-3 quarters due to the rising interest rates by the central bankers, which has been very positively impacted these banks. Banks positive, defensives have been positive, energy has been positive. So there are significant opportunities outside FANG and outside technology, which we strongly believe are the growth vectors in the short to medium term, when we are currently dealing in an uncertain market environment with several geopolitical and other macro challenges right now. So again, consumer staples, yeah, discretionary spending has been strong in the US. So that is the reason we see these kind of defensive sectors which are actually playing out in the current market environment. It's not like NASDAQ is down and then everything is down and people are just losing money by investing in the US markets. No, we have a lot of opportunities, and we strongly as Stockle urge to investors to look at these sectors and pockets. And if you're new to investing, you just have ETFs which are focused on these themes. Like, you do not know what consumer staple stock to pick up. You do not know what material stock to pick up. You just have a materials ETF. You have an ETF which is only focused on US companies. You have ETFs which are only focused on emerging economies. So we have various opportunities is what we are trying to convey beyond FANG and beyond technology. Yeah. I think that's it from our end. And if I have to give a near-term outlook on the markets and on global investing, currently we are in a very positive uptrend for the near term, because markets have already factored in all the headwinds which we have discussed. Markets have factored in the rising interest rates, rising energy and crude oil prices, geopolitical tensions, and the war in US and war in Europe and stuff like that. I think markets have already factored in all these kind of headwinds, and we are now looking at Fed pivoting in the beginning of February 2023, which means to say that they are making significant efforts to bring down inflation, and the rates have gone up. So I think there is going to be a pause in interest rates mid 2023, and these are significant opportunities for investors to be prepared for the uptrend which is going to likely happen in 2023. Yeah, I think that's it from our end, and we are open for Q&A.
Thank you, Menka. Thank you, Ritu, for your insight here. We'll take the Q&A sessions from here on. So all the participants who are live currently on YouTube as well as on our live webinar, in case you have any questions, please write down your questions in the Q&A box. We'll take your questions one by one.
There is a virtual Q&A which is here.
So we have the first question from Mr. Ashish. What about investing at this stage? If the rupee appreciates and goes to 50, what will our portfolio do?
Okay. So let's understand the US and the rupee relationship. I think that will answer this question more. So what do you, what goes into the currency, difference in currency? One of the most important things, which is a factor of the currency calculation, is the interest rates. Interest rates in India are way ahead of any other countries. As long as we remain a higher interest rate country, our currency will depreciate. Secondly, it is also important from our export perspective, from a growth perspective, that our rupee does not appreciate sharply. Now, so it is when the rupee and the dollar movement is also not a flat line. It doesn't go straight. So there are months when it will be appreciating and there will be months which are depreciating. What we have shown to you is movement over a period of 10 years. If you want, you can pick up this over a period of the last, from the time dollar rupee relationship started, way back in 1947, when it was equal 1 rupee. Right? So coming back to your question, if the rupee appreciates, then you lose returns. So depreciation will add to your returns. Appreciation will be a negative return on your portfolio. But do we expect that to go to 50? No, we don't expect it to go to 50. If you look at most of the analyst reports which are out there, they do not expect rupee to appreciate quite sharply, because dollar has been appreciating. And in fact, if you look at finance minister's report also, and whatever she's been talking about, why has rupee depreciated? Because dollar has been appreciating. And why has dollar been appreciating? Because the interest rates in that country is going up. So all the monies which were given out during the pandemic losing of monetary policy, which is there, it is all going back. So there is demand for dollar, and hence rupee has depreciated this much. And that is not in anybody's control. So can rupee appreciate to 50? Well, no analyst thinks like that. But if it does, yes, it adds negative returns to your portfolio. Do you want to add anything?
Yes, adding to Ritu's comments on the rupee and dollar appreciation, we do not see rupee firstly depreciating to this level, and dollar is always considered as a safe haven investment, right? In uncertain environment, everybody is putting their money in dollar, and that is why it's not just rupee which has depreciated; it is the entire basket of currencies against the dollar which has depreciated. So that is why the strength of dollar has been significant, and in the near term it would definitely remain the same, considering the central bankers hiking interest rates across the globe.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you, Ritu and Vinka. We have one more question pertaining to dollar. Do we need to buy dollars, or we can
We
trade in
need to-
rupees?
So when we invest in global markets, it's under your LRS limits. So what is LRS? So LRS limits is basically liberalized remittance scheme, where RBI allows every resident Indian holding a PAN to send about $250,000 per financial year per PAN to outside of India legally. Now these include your children's education, finance, gifting, investing, spending, travel, everything comes under this LRS. So yes, when you're investing through global in the global markets, you will have to transfer from INR into dollars. So when you transfer into the account, it will get converted into dollars and get come into your account on your global investing account.
So we have a question from Mr. Praveen. Does our platform caters only to US market?
Yes, sir. As of now, today it only caters to US market, and the prime we are exploring other markets. But currently, if you look at the investments which happen and the monies which flow out, about 97% of it goes to US. So that is the reason we currently catering to US markets.
Ritu, allow me to add a couple of lines to the same question here. The question is, are we able to cater only to US markets? Yes, only to US markets, but we can also have an exposure to non-US markets also through the ETFs, through the stacks, where countries like China, other countries can be participated through the ETFs, and we have a indirectly exposure in that particular country. I hope I'm right here.
Yes.
Yes.
So we have a stack which is exclusively emerging markets, right? Or we have, say, European markets, or we have a Hang Seng or a China, right? So this is an opportunity by just, so whatever is listed on NYSE and NASDAQ is what is available for you all. So it can be like, say, an Indian ADR also. So we have access to global markets outside US, but through ETFs.
Thank you.
Right.
We have one more question from Mr. Praveen. How are the commissions charged? How is the commission charges calculated while converting INR to USD while purchasing US ETFs or stocks?
So, when you are converting, when you are funding your account, that is the time when you convert from INR to USD, and the commission charges are at your bank's level. We do not charge, IIFL doesn't charge, Stockle doesn't charge any commissions at the time of converting INR to USD. But when you're purchasing US ETF or stock, there's a brokerage as per the plan. If you remember, we had shared a plan with you earlier. So that's the plan, which is you can choose. I'll just go back to the slide which covers the plan. So there are these three plans which are there. As per what plan you've chosen, that the brokerage will be charged to you in dollars, because you'll be trading in dollars. But when you're funding your account from converting from INR to dollars, that's something which the banks charge. We'll shortly be launching a much more eased out manner where the we will be addressing the charges. We'll be bringing down the charges later. So keep a watch out. It's a month to go to that.
Thanks, Ritu. I'll just repeat the same thing once again for the benefit of all our audience. In terms of brokerage, we have three plans: Elite, Elite Plus, and Elite Super. Any customer who is willing to choose, they have a right to choose any of the one plan. This different plan has a different brokerage plans accordingly and charges accordingly to in terms of what they buy, in terms of the stocks, what is their turnover, and in terms of basis of the turnover, they can predict which is the best suited plan for them. Apart from the forex charges, IIFL and Stockle does not have any role in terms of charging on the forex part. So whatever is your banker, they will charge you on the conversion of rupees to dollar. And simultaneously, Stockle is also coming out with their own, you can call it easy pay kind of a platform where conversion would be helpful to our customers. And this will take another month's time to launch that easy pay app, where even I think so UPI payment would also be allowed.
Correct.
Up to 1 lakh rupees per day. I think so that is a RBI set limit, right?
Correct. Correct.
So in case any customer want to transfer money to their own dollar account, they will be able to transfer through their UPI. Maximum selling year is 1 lakh per day, and you will be able to transfer.
That is UPI through NEFT. It will be $225,000 per day, or whatever is the NEFT limit that the customer has.
Yeah. So let's take the maximum.
So that is a month. It is under works. We'll be going live with it in another month's time.
So let's grab the opportunity to understand global investing. If you are able to understand, you can start opening the account opening process. It is quite easy, as Ritu has suggested. It is hardly 5-minute job, and you can start doing the funding first round, and later stage, once the UPI is live in a month's time, then you can use the UPI part also to fund your account in future. So coming back to our Q&A session. If we enroll in this plan, do they recommend any ETFs and stocks in IIFL? Ritu, allow me to answer this, please.
Sure.
Ms. Madhu, if you enroll in getting the global investing account open, you will get all the research recommendations from the Stockle team itself. Generally, we push or we suggest all our customers to go ahead and purchase the stacks, which is diversified. It is a basket of stocks. In case any particular stocks, generally it is not recommended on day-to-day basis. For even a longer duration, definitely we can take the help of Stockle and do the purchase of any long-term equity per se. But on the day-to-day basis, intraday is also not allowed. So short-term or momentum trading we generally discourage, and it is only for long-term investments. Ritu, would like to add here anything?
Yes, sure. So, sir, on the platform, when you log in and once you have funded your accounts, if you want, whenever you want to trading, you will find the top, performing stocks. There will be the trending stocks are always there, which will help you in guiding as to which are the stocks that you and ETFs that you can look to pick up, which are the stacks that you can look to pick up. Apart from that, we send out reports to you on a regular basis on your email, where we talk about what is happening in the markets and which are the sectors and companies which are benefiting out of that. So you can use those reports to be able to invest in stocks and ETFs in the US market.
Thanks, Ritu. We have one more question. Purchase stocks will be held in my existing Demat account? Question. Can I buy any stocks listed, and which exchange my trades will happen? So Jace, I'll try to answer your question here. There will be a separate global investment trading and Demat account. So there will be no AMC.
There's no Demat account. Viral, there's no Demat account.
There is no Demat account, sorry. There will be a global trading account which will be opening. Your stocks will be held at the broker's end, and whatever you want to buy and sell can be done through that separate platform. It has nothing to do with IIFL trading and Demat account. I'm repeating, it has nothing to do with IIFL trading and Demat account or IIFL ledger account, where there would not be any debits and credits. You will have to have a separate trading account pertaining to global investments.
I'll add to that.
Ritu, I would also like you to also guide us in terms of the insurance part, which is covered at the.
I'm just coming to that. I was just coming to that.
Yeah,
so, when I was talking about account opening in global investing and it becoming very simplified, there are a couple of very important things to understand. How different is it from in India? When in India you trade, you have it's connected to your bank account. You have to open a demat account. In US, when you are investing, you don't need to open a bank account. That's why when I showed the entire process of account opening, it just asked you. It is as simple as opening a bank account. You just upload your KYC. These stocks are held at DryWealth, who is the broker in the US. So they are the broker and the custodian. In US, where your stocks will be held, and on the platform where it will, the other platform through which the transactions will happen. Your funds are held at JP Morgan bank account at DryWealth, and there are individual account numbers which are allocated to you. Once opening account, that account number will be given to you. When you transfer the money, it will go into the account specifically maintained for you. Second, so there is no demat account, more importantly. Now, so there comes a risk from perceived risk from an India perspective. In India, we have a demat account, so we are very comfortable. Okay, the shares are in my account. So, but there the shares are not in my account. What happens? What is the risk? So, for this, the US government or SEC, which is the regulator there, has mandated that each account holder be provided an insurance of $500,000 for your account. So, if you have a account, and let's say DryWealth shuts down, so up to $500,000, you are totally protected. There's an insurance coverage which is there from FINRA on your account. So that way your risk is totally covered.
Thank you, Ritu. We have similar question which we have answered earlier from Mr. Ashok. Is the platform only for investing in US, or we can invest in other European markets?
So, Mr. Ashok, as we discussed, so stocks, when it comes to stocks, you can invest in US stocks only. But if you want to invest in European markets or any other market, there are ETFs which are available. You can invest in those markets via those ETFs which are listed on the US exchange.
Thanks, Ritu. What is the margin money to invest in US market?
Unlike Indian brokers, Stockle does not offer any kind of margin.
So in US, what another thing you have to remember, in US, you can only invest or trade on clear fronts. Yeah. So there's no intraday trading, there's no margin trading, which is there in US. So you can only invest on clear funds. So we don't need any margin money out there. We do not also allow you to sell a stock and buy against that. It has to always be clear funds.
Thanks, Ritu. So here, Sonali, you can be able to invest in the stocks through the fractional feature what US exclusively gives. So here in India, we don't have any feature of fractional purchase, but in US we have covered in the starting. So in case you want to buy, say $1 or $5, $10 worth of Facebook or Telsa, it is still possible. So whatever the minimum ticket size or minimum fractional share available, you can buy that much of fractional share for any particular stock. So this is the USP which you can use and even invest in particular stocks with the negligible amount of investments there. Can I transfer from banks in S of Oman, Sultanate of Oman?
I'll answer this question, Viral. So on the platform, a resident Indian as well as an NRI can also open accounts. So let's say you're an NRI based out of Oman. Yes, you can transfer money from your bank of any bank which is there in Muscat. Now, there's another category where you were an NRI. Let's say you have come back to India and you hold an account in another country. yes, you can use. So we allow you to transfer money from either the country of residence or the country where you have worked. So there is no issue.
Thanks, Ritu. We have a question from Mr. Ashish. Is there any Indian mutual fund that invest in crypto blockchain
No, there
exposure in global
isn't.
market?
No, there isn't. You have to open an account in the US for this.
Okay. How guaranteed by IIFL? Here IIFL acts as a referral. You can act as a agent towards account opening, and entire guarantee is taken care by US government, where $500,000 worth of insurance is taken for each and every customer. So you can be least assured in terms of your funds and your stocks per se. How can trade in derivatives in US market?
Yeah, I think RBI does not allow any kind of speculatory trade. So obviously derivatives is out of question.
So, sir, as per LRS, it is a very important thing for you, everybody to understand this. When you are sending money under LRS, you are not allowed to send it through leveraged money. That means you cannot send it from loans. You cannot send it from taking money from anybody else. So if you look at the A2 form, it says it is monies from your own savings, right? Second thing is it does not allow you to go and leverage outside of India also. So you cannot do any derivatives. You cannot leverage against your portfolio also. So these are LRS regulations by RBI. And hence we do not allow any derivative trading on the platform. So
Thanks, Ritu.
no currency futures, no options, no derivatives.
Okay. So is primary market allowed, Ritu?
No.
Primary, there are only secondaries. Only listed companies are allowed on our platform.
I have asked this
Yeah,
question.
it's the same again. RBI
No,
guidelines
I understand.
does not allow.
No, another thing is IPOs in US don't work the way they work in India. Their IPOs typically happen in institutional players. Once it gets listed is when the retail or the individual people purchase the stocks. It does not work the same way as in India. India is very different from other markets in that respect.
Thanks. We have one question. I am a IIFL Demat account holder. How can I do currency futures or options through IIFL? Sir, this entire webinar is pertaining to global investing. For any currency and options query.
No. Viral, let me answer this. So what has happened is we were running that funding incentive campaign. No, so this is a question relating to that.
Okay.
So Mr. Poddar, so what happens is when it has nothing to do with an average cost. So when the period, if you would read the terms and conditions, so since you have transferred money, you are eligible for a certain dollar value of shares, which will be given to you as an incentive for funding your account. Now, it has a time period when it gets finished. So at the end of that period, when we purchase a stock, it will be at the purchase price when we purchase that stock. So there's no averaging. We don't keep a stock of those shares and transfer it to you. It will be purchased and given to your account. It will be at that point in time. And there's no way I can avoid saying that it will be at a reasonable price, not at the highest. We will not be able to tell you that.
Okay. Ritu, you have replied to Mr. Vikram Poddar's question. Mr. Poddar's question was qualified, if I qualify for the Stockholm promo scheme.
Correct.
Where against a deposit of $2,000. Yeah. So I was reading a question prior to that if a customer holds an IIFL Demat account, how can he trade in futures and options through IIFL?
I mentioned that, Viral, no currency futures, no options. I mentioned that.
Yeah. So this question is pertaining to Indian currency futures and options. So I request, sir, you need to reach out to your relationship manager and they will help you to understand how you can activate your currency futures and options.
Do we get margin pledge? No.
There is no margin and pledge request feature. As Ritu has already replied, only clear funds would be allowed for trading in US markets. So margin and pledge is again out of question here. Can I trade in commodities?
Through ETFs. Yes, there are enough ETFs on commodities. So in India, you get ETFs only on gold. Silver will be launched soon. But in US, you have ETFs on everything. As we were talking about, you have lithium ETFs, you have semiconductor ETFs, you have platinum ETFs, you have energy ETFs. There are enough ETFs that you can invest in.
And there was a lot of traction which was seen in industrial metals, actually, this has never happened in the past. When we saw the geopolitical crisis happening in Europe, there was a lot of rallies which happened in industrial metals. Precious metals, yes, of course, has taken a beating, but yes, we saw energy and industrial metals.
So yes,
trending.
That's the best way to actually invest in any of the commodities also, because futures and options are not allowed. So that's the only way you can invest in commodities.
So we have an interesting question from Mr. Ashish. Any PMS services? Briefly explain. So here, Mr. Ashish, we have stacks.
Yes, I did cover in my presentation about stacks. So stacks are similar to PMSs, where the underlying, it can be either a stock or a share. It is run by a fund manager. They pick up stocks like it happens in Indian PMSs. The stocks will be held in your account. It is not like a fund where it's held in the fund's name. The stock will show in your portfolio under that particular stack. There are various kind of stacks are available in India. The PMS, and there is a management fee in stacks which is charged to you, similar to the way it is charged in India in the PMSs. The major difference is in India when you're investing in PMS, the minimum is 50 lakhs. Here, the minimum goes to $1,000, which is about 81,000 rupees.
And for this, we have partnered with the best in the world, right? You see Global X, you see OmniScience. These are, seasoned, established, most matured fund managers. I think investors should make use of these opportunities. It's fared better than any kind of PMS. I mean, when I look at India, I think we only look at Marcellus. I think Saurabh Mukherjee's PMS, which has outperformed Nifty and S&P. You look at the stacks, you will get the idea. The kind of teams and the kind of creators are quite unique and globally recognized creators and fund managers.
So I would also ask Mr. Ashish that post this con call, you can get in touch with your relationship manager, and we can even guide you offline in terms of which are the best stacks which can suit you as per your risk appetite, and we can guide you on that part. So you can go ahead and choose the best of the stacks you can purchase online, so that you can start your global investment journey immediately. So we have a question from Atit about currency future. So as it was already said, futures and options are not available. So we have one more question. How different is the service provided from Stockle different from any other online broker like Interactive Brokers, especially from the brokerage point of view?
So I can tell you something, sir. You can compare it. IIFL's brokerage is the cheapest that you can get for global investing. Second thing is that in Interactive, etc., you don't get 24/7 support system. Here you get that. You can do the absolutely. You can go ahead and do the comparison. And third, very important thing, they don't have stacks. We have stacks. So which are these curated portfolios. So yes, and the most important thing is we approve you can open your account in 5 minutes, which gets approved in 15. You don't have that with Interactive Brokers.
So I'll just add on one simple line on Ritu's comment. It is basically a services what you will be getting online and offline through IIFL and Stockle per se. So you can start using those services and you will yourself find the differences. Thank you. So we'll ask a couple of more questions before we can conclude. Stocks which I am buying, is the actual stocks or any kind of depository receipts?
Actual stocks, sir. There's no DRs. These are actual stocks which will be in your portfolio.
Once I transfer from, we have a same, Mr. Manoj has the same question. Once I transfer from Muscat, later can I bring back to Indian Bank directly?
Transfer from Mr.
So, Mr. Manoj, I can see you have a long list of questions on this. So yes, first we will need a little more detailed question. So can you reach out to your relationship manager and connect with us? I think it's best that we answer because yours is a very specific case. We can answer one-on-one, because I would want to understand whether are you an NRI, returned NRI, because a lot of these things will change according to that.
So, Mr. Manoj, I request you can get in touch with your relationship manager.
Or
We
sir,
can
if
help.
you can put in your mobile number, we will definitely call you back and answer these queries. If you can
That would
just
be also helpful.
type
You
your
can,
mobile number, we will happily call you back.
you can share your mobile number or your email ID. We can get in touch with you, and definitely we will try to resolve all your questions. I'm just noting down the mobile number.
We have a couple of more
Yeah.
questions, no, Viral?
Yeah, there's a question from Mr. Vikram Prodar once again. As per LRS, what rights do I have with regards to amount lying in the USD account, USD cash in the account? Can it be transferred out or other bank account in the US, or it can be reparted? Can the US bank account opened for this purpose and can be used for general purpose as in US bank account? So I think so it is pertaining to the LRS money transferred abroad, and it can be used in any kind of a purpose.
No, Viral, this is slightly. So, Mr. Poddar, there is no separate bank account which gets opened for you in the US, right? What gets opened for you is, so you are transferring the money to DriveWell's account, under which there is sub account. So this account can only be used for the investment through the global investment platform. It cannot be used for any other thing. It's not a bank account the way you call it a bank account. That is something which we are launching in another, we'll be going live in another 10 days, where we'll be allowing you to open a US bank account. We are working with IFL on that, and we should be giving you that facility very, very soon, where you will be able to open a US bank account sitting out of India via the platform. At the click of a button, it will take you 2 days to open the account, and you'll be able to use that bank account as a normal bank account. But the current which is there is not a bank account. And the money which is lying in that in USD in the cash account, it is yours for investments. You cannot do any other transaction. And second very important thing is, when you are transferring money for investment, as per Indian LRS rules, you are supposed to bring that back to India only. You cannot repatriate it anywhere directly from US. It needs to come back to India, and then you can transfer anywhere. That's LRS rules, sir. We cannot change that. But the bank account that we are going to help you open, which we'll be launching very shortly, will allow you to keep the money in US and use the money in US itself, or send it outside of US.
Thanks, Ritu. Ritu, there's a question from Atit. What are the settlement types?
It is T+2, like India.
And we are regulated by SEC, and
which is the
FINRA.
US, the US regulator, not by SEBI, not by RBI.
These were the US
SEC and FINRA. So that is why you have the insurance protection as well.
Okay. In which exchange the trades will happen, and how can we verify it?
We usually have NASDAQ and NYSE listed. So NYSE is the stock exchange. And how do you verify it? You just have the access on your account, Stockle account. You can view your stocks, just like how you see an Indian broker with a demat account.
Same.
Similar way, you can view your portfolio on the screen of Stockle once you have bought or transacted any kind of stocks, and we are using NYSE and NASDAQ listed stocks.
Thank you. So on behalf of all my party, we'll take the last question. I think we have one more question. If I migrate to any other country, will I be able to access and transfer my account, or will I will have to liquidate the account and then transfer the money to another account in the country I have migrated to?
So it entirely depends on which country that you will migrate to. So suppose if you are in Canada, if you're migrating to Canada, then it may not be possible because Canada is not open on our platform. So it will entirely depend upon which country. We may allow you to continue even after you've migrated. It is a case on case basis. If there is some such a change happening, please reach out to us and we'll be able to help.
Sir, in case your question, you are able to, if your question has been answered completely, if you feel that you require few more clarifications and details, you can reach to your RM, you can reach to us, we'll get in touch with you and help you with the further more clarity. Then we will take the last question from Mr. Atit. Do you provide contract notes?
No, there's no concept of contract notes, no? So because there's no demat account, your shares are not being held in your demat account. So all your transactions which are happening, the reports are there on the platform. You can just download it from there.
So everything is available online to view, and there is no concept of contract note per se, because everything is whatever you purchase, you'll be able to see on your online platform itself. And all those things are downloadable in nature. So see why the question has come up, Ritu, maybe because of the
Like in
income tax
India.
filing and all those perspective, Mr. Atit must have asked, okay, how
So
should
everything
we?
is there. Everything is there on the platform for you to download. And as per your, we have created the reports which can be answered
For income tax,
for income tax. Your
have
reports are all in line with the same way, the way it has to be for Indian tax filing. So you don't
Okay.
have to worry on that perspective.
you will get, as an investor, you will have a long-term capital gain tax statement, short-term capital gain tax statement. So that can be produced for IP filing, income tax filing. We do not have contract notes.
So I'll just add one thing over and above what Ritu and Meghna has said. Stockle has also a tie-up with company called as Quico for tax filing. We at IFL has also tie up with a company called as Quico. So once you have an account with us, so what happens is like our equity trading, everything get uploaded at Quico. Even the stocks you will have been trading on the or investing in the US market, even those things will be uploaded at the Quicos, and you will be able to use the platform for overall tax filing. So this would be a helpful for you. And I think so Stockle's agreement has they have just tied up with Quico recently. This is the news what I have received, and where we already have a tie-up with Quico. So everything pertaining to tax things can be resolved very easily and smoothly. So here I will thank all of you, especially Ritu and Minka, for helping our clients and our partners to understand how global investing is all about. And definitely we will take your help in future as well for more webinars and clarifications of the doubts, if any. So thank you, friends, for investing your precious 1 hour in learning and understanding the global market.
Yeah, thanks to the audience who have joined in on a
Thank you
busy
so
week.
much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And
Yes.
just I'll leave this thing, Mr. Manoj Matthew, just for you only specifically. The mobile number I think is incorrect. If you can send us the correct mobile number, we'll call you back. And thank you everyone for your time. To listen to us on the global investments and how it can fit beautifully with your portfolio, Indian portfolio, and it helps you diversify not just from a sector and a stock perspective, but also from a currency perspective. And it will only, add value to your portfolios. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
participants.
Right, Viral?
Yeah. Anything else from our side, Viral?
We'll end this webinar and I'll
Yeah.
call you.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you.